Yeah, so I just wanted to explain a story about um, a conversation that I had with a client, and it's about how mental health is basically just explains the spiritual realm. I didn't explain it to her per se like that, but she had said something that was so interesting, and I could not just stay quiet. Like, I could not stay quiet. She's a believer, and so when I found out that she was a woman of faith, I asked her, I was like, hey, do you mind if we bring in some biblical principles, things like that? And she was like, oh, yeah, sure, that'll be great, and things like that, because that's what works. Like, literally, that is what works. Now, this is a client not through Entice and Renew, but um, through a telehealth program that I actually work for. So I work with a multitude of people, from somebody who's a faith to someone who's a witch, literally. And one of the things that this client stated was that she felt like there was just like different parts of her. She was just like, I don't feel like myself. It's like I want to be who I am, but then I have anxiety who decides to show up and mess up a situation. Then I have PTSD to be like, oh, hey girl, here I come. I'm about to ruin the show. And then here comes depression, like, oh, I'm about to bring a heavy bag. Like, and when she said that, I'm like, it, when she said that, that told me that she was ready for more. And that was Yah preparing her for more. And when I say that, that just means that she was in a place to receive what I had to say. And now I was thinking about how to say it, because I'm like, okay, because I know that things that the information that I have, it can be very overwhelming. And just where she's at in her growth and her walk with Christ, it's at a different place. And so I don't want to hinder that process. I want to support it. And so I had shared with her, I'm like, um, I said, so this is a little bit of a different perspective, but it's part testimony too, because I had to be vulnerable enough to say, to give her insight into what I see on the other side, you know what I mean, as being her care counselor. And I had mentioned when I first started working in mental health, when I first started working into mental health, but when I started doing this specific line of work, I realized, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is really showing what's going on spiritually. And so it's like when people say, oh, they have anxiety or depression, things like that, those are actually spirits. Now, I did not go, I did not like say it full out to her like that. So the way I introduced it was trauma. Trauma caused us to experience things, right? And so, okay, you have anxiety, you have depression, you have PTSD or OCD, whatever things that you have, right? Or things that you battle with. I'm like, those are false identities in Christ. And I was like, when we're working towards being healed, we're actually coming into who he created us to be. And so I told her, I said, so when you mentioned that it's like those things are not me, but I feel like I can't be myself without them, like what are we doing? Like, why are we coexisting? And then I explained to her, I said, in mental health, there's a thing where they encourage you to be one. Where's my phone falling? They encourage you to be one with the things that you deal with. What the heck is going on here? Anyway, we're just gonna do this because I'm not fighting with this phone. It causes you to be one with that spirit. You know what I mean? Like there's so many trainings about how your illness is your superhero. Like anxiety is a superhero. Depression is a superhero. How? If you are a believer, that is something that you've dealt with, and guess what? It can come up and out and be casted into the sea. That's why you do that inner work and that inner healing, so you can break agreement with those spirits and be free in who Yah called you to be. And so I was just explaining to her that the work that she's doing, and she's a favorite. It is what it is. She's one of my favorites, I should say. And she is doing the work. She really is doing the work, and there's so much growth. And it's like, you don't have to identify with anxiety. That's not who you are. And even just speaking to her about, it's not yours. You can say, this is something that I deal with. I deal with anxiety, not this is my anxiety. Oh, my anxiety, mine. No, you don't have to own it, because it ain't yours, boo. It came in through trauma. It came in through through traumatic experiences. That's something that was planted. And so it needs to be plucked up, so that way you can get to, again, who you are called to be by Yah. And she received it very well, but it was just so cool. I don't know. I'm just glad that I had that opportunity, because it's kind of hard to really get to the root of things. When you work in certain spaces. And so I'm just grateful that Yah has blessed me with the Entice and Renew. And then me being a believer, because I'm listen, we gonna get to the root, okay? We gonna get to the root. I'm gonna support you to get to the root, right? Because obviously Yah is the only thing that can reveal all things. But I just wanted to share that, because it was just very encouraging. And maybe you're someone who deals with some things, and you're identifying with it, thinking that's literally a part of you, because it's not. It's not a part of you at all. It surely is not. But trauma has a way of distorting that, that trauma thing. By the way, if you have not listened to my video about trauma, it's called Trauma. What is the title of that video? I think it's Trauma Creates Idols. Trauma Causes Idols, or something like that. But yeah, I'll link it. But yeah, I hope this blesses you. And stay encouraged. And remember that the joy of the Lord is your strength. All right. Bye.